Degloirespace signing in. A very common sentence that you hear now is you hear women saying the man's got to lead. And you'll hear even men saying that as well. Let me just tell you, yes and no. Yes and no. There is a part that a man leads, and there's a part that a man doesn't lead. There's a part that is together. Something about this sentence that I don't like now, and the reason why I have made this video, is that the meaning of this has been perverted. Basically, what they're trying to say is the responsibility of the relationship is all on the man. And that's a lie, because it cannot be like that. It's basically saying that, oh, the man leads the relationship. The man tells the woman, all right, now we're going to get married. Now we're going to do that. And basically the woman does nothing. All she has to do is show up. And this partnered with a few other comments like, put a ring on it. And if you haven't put a ring on it, then you don't own it, or something like that. I don't know what. To tell me that the man basically says to the woman, all right, we're going to get married. And if he doesn't say that to her, she thinks, oh, I can still date other people. I'm still available to other people, because you're not leading. You haven't told me what we're doing. You haven't put a ring on it. That is just manipulation. I feel sorry for young girls, because they're growing up with that kind of role model. I like to see both sides. I do like to see both sides. I know that a lot of men were quite dirty in how they treat women. When I say dirty, I mean that they got no integrity in their approach. They're there to have sexual favors. But the problem is, even when that is the case, what we should be teaching women is how to identify such men, and then nourishing that from young age, rather than telling them, oh, you got to keep your virginity for the right one and all that kind of things. What right one? How? You haven't taught her what the right one is. The right one is the one who marries you. What rubbish is that? Okay, you marry her, and what if after you marry her, things don't work out, things don't go as planned? Rather, you teach the woman to be with a man who respects her. Whether you leave each other, whether you stay together, he respects you. He's a respectful man. He's a man that has integrity. That's what you should be promoting, not until he puts a wedding ring on. Man, he can put the wedding ring on and take it off. These are very, very surface things that you're talking about. You're teaching someone to basically be cheap. You're telling them, all right, look, if he offers you the ring, he has put his finances on the table, and those finances now, if he decides to leave, he has to pay up. Man, you think men haven't worked that out? And unfortunately, the men who have worked it out are the same men that were screwing women over. The same personality. I know a guy who was with a girl, and she tried to screw him over like that. When they went to court, he's quite rich, quite well off. Turns out there was nothing in his account anymore. He had shifted it all to somebody else, and he had done that way before the marriage, because people get smarter. It's not even smarter. People work things out, work the systems out, and then the system updates, and then people work it out. The fact is, you haven't educated the woman what to look for. What are the things that we should be promoting? And this does take time. It takes a while, but we need to plant the seed. So here, when you're teaching the man, when you're teaching the woman, the man leads, and that basically means that he has to tell you, I want to get married. If he doesn't say that to you, nothing means anything. What rubbish is that? So the woman basically just, okay, yeah, if you're not ready by this date, look, see you later. If you're not ready by this time, what's that? Where is the love? Where is the heart? Of course, I'm not complaining here. I know this is the way it works, but I'm saying that this is rubbish, and a man shouldn't fall for that. You shouldn't feel stressed that, I have to lead her. If I don't tell her that I'm gonna marry her by this date, she's gonna leave me. Don't be a victim. No, you're being manipulated. you're basically being held captive, that if you don't do this, you're going to be left. And they've changed it. They've made it sound like it's manly. They basically say, oh, if you don't lead, because the man is the leader. You could be a leader of a very crappy army. You're still going to lose. When the leader leads, the people he is leading, they need to be just as competent. In other words, yes, the woman also needs to make things work. It works two ways. Our relationship is two ways. It's not one way. As a girl once used to tell me, I'm not marrying myself. And yeah, she's right. The man does his part and the woman does her part. When a man decides to be stable with somebody, the most thing he looks for is somebody who holds their respect, makes the man feel a certain way. And you know what? Feminine women know this. But what you're being taught now, the man leads. And I'm not against that the man leads in certain things, but I'm against it to mean that if he doesn't lead the way that you want him to lead, in other words, offer you the social stability, then that means you have the green card to not be loyal. People are exploiting this system. Right now, the average marriage is 6 years, 7 years. In a few years, it's going to be 3 or 2. And then it will be a day or two. And don't think about only yourself. Think about what seed are you planting. Think about what seed are you planting in the coming. We are invested in this earth. We are invested in other people. We want to make sure we leave the best possible thing for others. Isn't this why we love people like the prophets, like the philosophers, because they leave something more than just for them. They leave a gem for others. They leave an experience for others. And now we are living now at a time where every one of us is aware of this. Every one of us has an impact. Every one of us can just grab a camera and say something on camera. And so we are all active in this space. And I'm not here saying I'm not saying censor yourself. I'm saying examine, analyze what you're saying. Think about what you're saying. Look at the repercussions of what you're saying. When you talk out of bitterness, what are you planting? Bitterness. Don't worry about all the information that you're saying. When you're bitter, that's what you're planting. You're planting bitterness. When you're planting manipulation tactics, then that's what you're doing. You're not planting happiness. A girl who follows this kind of recommendation or suggestion, she's not going to find happiness. She's entering a relationship with manipulation, not with love, not with openness. And same thing for the man. The man who's watching all these videos and women are this, women are that. You have to become aware of it. And you know what? In this generation that we live now, there are some of us that are going to have to take the bullet for the rest of us. Not in a martyr way, but in the way that, hey, we need to put back the idea that we need to think for ourselves. Don't just take things face value. Oh, this is the way men work, this is the way women work. And nobody troubles themselves to ask, maybe that's not how it works. And that's what we're doing here. When we're saying about women and men lead, hey, it's not a blind leadership. Oh, he leads. What does he leads mean? So you're nothing? You're just a sheep? You're a cow walking around in a farm and the farmer's telling you where to go? Is that what you are? You got no person, you got no heart, no personality, you got no mind, you got nothing. You can't think for yourself. You can't feel like, hey, this man loves me. He actually loves me. You don't have the intelligence to work out if somebody loves you or not. If you don't, a lot of people that I see on the internet are now coming up with, look, love doesn't exist. It's just an exchange. And you know what? That's not true. That's not true. If there's one example of love out there, then it exists. Yeah, it's rare, but it exists. And here some people might say, but love doesn't lead to sexual intimacy. Bullshit. I'm telling you from now, bullshit. Because here, if you think that, then it's just because you've defined love as this. You're just thinking of love as a moral thing, as an ethical thing. And love is not a moral, ethical thing. Love is the involvement of somebody totally in something. You feel like, man, I see this woman and I lust for her. Lust, okay? Yes, I said the word lust. I lust for her. At the same time, I'll protect her with everything. At the same time, I connect with her. Am I saying that one person provides everything for you? No. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the level of involvement that you are. It's as if she gives you everything. This person is your home. When you look at them, you just take a deep breath and you know, Does this mean that you won't have any obstacles in your life? Does this mean that you guys won't fight? No, it does not mean that. For anyone who has this imagery of, if I love her, it means everything. Every time I come home, everything is perfect. She's never upset. If you're thinking that, then that's just your image of love. You are not you're looking at love outside of human nature. If you choose to look at anything outside of human nature, then you're kidding yourself, because humans can only do human nature. And human nature is a beautiful thing. Human nature is not just about dog eats dog and stuff like that. No. That's an aspect of it, but it's not everything. There is also a humanistic approach. I heard a beautiful story in the war, in World War II, that one Japanese soldier finds a baby and he can't take the baby with him. So he puts the baby in such a way that he knows the American soldiers are coming in, that somebody will rescue this baby. And he puts him in such a way that the baby's safe. And then an American soldier continues the act and rescues the baby. Look how beautiful this is in the middle of a war, because this is what it means to be human. This compassion that can exist even on opposing sides. The Japanese were fighting the Americans were fighting the Japanese. But in that moment, these two people, whoever they were, I promise you, both of them were prophets or real humans. They were on opposing sides, yet they were able, in that moment, they call it telepathy. They spoke to each other. You asking about angels? That's angels right there. They were together, and together they brought life to somebody. Don't be talking about anything with relationships and that without having a place for compassion. You treat a man like a mule, and that's what you get, a mule. You treat a woman like a cow, and that's what you're gonna get, a cow. But treat them like human beings, and you get a human being. It'll change you. Give it a go. Give it a go. Allow that to happen. It's so easy to sit there and go to church and say, oh, Jesus Christ, I love, and then treat human beings like crap. Oh, I love Jesus. I love, whoever you love. I love God. And then you treat human beings like crap. Well, what use is all that? And as a man, think about it. If you fall for this trap of, I'm the leader, I better ask her to do this. Think about the time where you can no longer lead because you got sick. If that woman had gotten into the relationship because you're the guy who you tick her to-do list, if that's the only reason she's there, if you happen to become ill and you can no longer function properly, that woman's not going to be there for you. If you happen to lose your money, that woman's not going to be there for you. The reason she's there is gone. Why would she be with you? You're meant to be leading the way that she wants to be led. What use are you now? Reminds me of the quote by Jesus when he says to Judas, use your heart, not your mind. And when you're dealing with life as a total, you got to use your heart, not only your mind. Degloirespace signing out.